Well, I think it might just be you today, Sammy. What do you think? Do you want to just get started? All right. So we'll start off with pretty normal warm-ups that we usually do. Just walking in place. We're going to try to do a lot of the similar stuff we used to do in class, but I know equipment's probably somewhat limited over there, so we'll have to mix it up a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, try to get those knees right up to waist height if you can. You can stay facing forward if you want. I'm going to turn every once in a while just so you see a different angle, so you get a little bit better visual. If you need to change directions or anything, I'll let you know. Good. Now what we're going to do, we want to go about the same height, but bring those legs way out to the side. So straight out to your side. Try to keep your upper body facing forward as much as you can. And just open up the hips. Good. Now come back to the front. A couple more like this, and then we'll do lower down to the ground. Start to speed it up a little bit. And 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake your legs out just a little bit if you need to. And now just a light jog in place. Start to get the heart rate up a little bit. If you have any questions during any of the moves or anything, feel free to ask Sammy, okay? I know it's been a while with a lot of this stuff probably, so don't hesitate. And 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, shake the legs out a little bit again. Now we're gonna loosen up the upper body a little bit. So do some huggers. Good. Arms out nice and wide and together. Crisscross every time, so switch which arm is on top every time. Open up the chest, reach around to those shoulders. Good. One more. All right. Now give your feet a little bit wide. We're going to kick the hip out to the side and reach up and over. So you want to get your hand down on your knee here. Really kick the hip out to the side and reach the hand up and over. Like you're reaching for the corner of the room. And up, across to the other side, same thing. Hip goes out, arm up and over, reaching for that corner of the room. Three, 2, 1, good. Back up. Now, again, feet are going to be wide. We're just going to reach down. Whichever side you want to do first is fine. Try to make sure that you keep your knees straight here. You just want to extend that upper body down towards those feet. And up, over to the other side, same thing. Reaching that upper body down to the feet. All right, come back up. Now we're gonna go straight down the middle towards the floor. Reaching down. If my connection gets a little bit choppy, it's probably because I'm on the Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, my laptop does not have a cord port that I can plug in. So 3, 2, 1, and come on back up. And we're gonna get back to some moving stretches. So what we're gonna do here, bring your arms straight out in front of you. You're gonna kick that foot up. Opposite hand reaches for the opposite foot. Good. And once you get comfortable with and you're balanced and you're able to, you can start to go a little bit faster. Again, once you're comfortable, doesn't have to be right away. Try to make sure, I'm not very flexible, so it's hard for me, but try to make sure you keep those legs as straight as possible when you bring that foot up. Again, I'm not very flexible, so it's hard for me. Almost done with the warm-up. I'm just going to check the time. Okay. Get a couple more. And 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake the legs out again. Now we're going to move side to side a little bit to really get the hip flexors involved. So I'm going to step to the side a little. And what we're going to do, lift up the knee, steps, and lift up the knee, steps. Now it doesn't matter how many steps you want to take. If you want to do a bunch of quick short steps, you can. Or you could even do 2 big steps. Either way is fine, as long as you're moving side to side. So quick little steps, or those 2 big steps, either way works. Lift up that knee when you come to the end, and then back the other way. Kind of like our warm-up, but with a few extra steps in between. So because we do have less equipment to work with, we're probably going to be mostly doing cardio stuff. But we will do a little bit of core and upper body as well. 1 or 2 more times. Switch up to the big steps if you want to. And 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. So our next move is one that we used to do in our class. If you have like a towel or something like that that you want to use to do our circle around, you can. You don't have to, but we're going to do our circle run. I don't know if you remember this one or not, but we're going to start going in one direction and just running around in a circle, facing the same way the whole time. So, like I said, if you have something you want to put on the floor to really focus on going around that, you can. If not, just pretend there's something there. Go as quick as you can, as quick as you're comfortable going, right around that circle. And in about 15 seconds, we're going to switch and go the other direction. What I like about this move is there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Right now, I'm kind of taking it easy, going at a slower pace, but I can speed it up if I want, if I'm comfortable with it, or I could even go a little bit slower if I need to catch my breath. So you can do the same thing. 3, 2, 1, and head in the other direction. Same thing, just rotating the other way. It's awful warm in this room. Getting a good sweat in, that's good. So again, as you go, if you get comfortable with it, you can start to speed up, do really quick short steps, or you can take longer steps around that circle as well. However, it makes you feel the most comfortable. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. So I think, yep, we are at our first break time. So take a minute or two, grab some water. If you need a towel, you can use a towel to wipe off your sweat. I know I need one. I don't have one with me though, so that's all right. I got some paper towels over here. Like I said, if you have any questions at any point, you can unmute yourself and just ask away. I don't mind. Just so you know as well, I don't know if you can hear me right now. I see you're not there right in front of the screen, but you might still be able to hear me. Oh, there you are. So for at least probably this one and the next 2 or 3, I'm not gonna be playing any music. If you're gonna have yourself muted for the most part, unless you have a question, you can play your own music if you want in the background. That's totally up to you. The reason I'm not sure music will work is because this room is kind of echoey. You can probably hear it a little bit when I talk. So I think the music would make it hard to hear me. So for now, I'm gonna hold off on music. If we get to a point where I think it might work, then I'll put some on, but you can play your own if that works for you. All right. So we'll come back. We're gonna slow this one down a little bit. And actually, if you have a mat, I was told you might have a mat. If you do, grab it. If not, you could even use a blanket or something like that. But we'll get a little bit of core and upper body in this round. Slow the heart rates down a little bit. So roll your mat out. We'll come down. First, we're gonna start with some reachers in each direction. So what we're gonna do, can you see me okay? I'm gonna angle that camera down just a little bit so you can see me a little better. There we go. So we're gonna be on our hands and knees, 4-point stance. Make sure your hips and knees are in a straight line. Shoulders and wrists are in a straight line. And what we're gonna do, opposite hand, opposite foot, reach out and back down. Reach out and back down. Like I said, opposite hand, opposite foot. So when your left hand goes out, your right foot goes out. Extend as far as you can. I'm just gonna pop up so I can see you. You should keep going. I'm dripping sweat all over my mat, so I'm gonna grab some more paper towels. Good. Try to get as straight of a line as you can from fingertips to the tips of your toes. As straight a line as possible. If you start to struggle with your balance a little bit, something you can do is just bring those knees a little bit closer to your hands. Strengthens your base a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to maintain your balance. But if you can, try to keep that straight line from your hip to your knee. Fully extend hands and feet. Couple more. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next, we're going to stay down on the floor here. We're going to do some push-ups. I'm going to flip sides here. So for our push-ups, if you need to, you can stay right on your knees in that same position, knees under the hips, come down and push back up. Now, the further away from my hands my knees are, the more challenging it gets. So if you're here, and this is really, really, really easy, just scoot the knees back a little bit, and it'll get a little more challenging for you. I don't want it to be super easy. I want it to challenge you a little bit, but I don't want it to be so hard that you can't do any. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead. I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. Go ahead. So again, if you're here and it's too easy, just scoot the knees back a little. Make it a little bit more challenging. And obviously, if you go back really far, it's a little bit tougher here. If you can do something on your feet, do those. And you can mix it up in between as well. If you start with your knees way back and it's starts to get a little tough, bring the knees in, make it a little easier for a few. We're going for a minute. You got about 15 seconds left. Like I said, mix it up if you need to. If it starts to get really hard one way, switch it up, make it a little bit easier for you. If it's a little bit too easy, switch it up, make it a little bit tougher. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. I know push-ups aren't the most fun, but since we don't have weights, we don't have a ton of options. So push-ups are kind of where we have to be. So now we're going to flip over onto our butts. We're going to get some core work going. I'm going to stay sideways to start, and then I'll switch facing forward so you can see from that angle. But first thing we're going to do is just going to be some bicycles. If you can, try to do it sitting up just like this. If you need to, you can drop down to the elbows. Do it this way, it's a little bit easier. And then if you really need to take it down, if you start to struggle, you can lay all the way back and go this way. Again, this is the easiest, and then this one is really tough. But try to maybe start on your elbows if you want. If it's too easy for you, you can go up to sitting up all the way. If on your elbows is even a little bit too hard, you can lay on your back. All right, so we will start in 3, 2, 1, begin. So again, just pedaling forward. If you are sitting up like this, just try to make sure your chest stays forward. You don't want to be lounging back like this and rolling, making a curve here. You want to try to stay upright as best you can. Now I'll face forwards, show you this way. Take little breaks if you need it, that's totally fine. So my feet just kicking forward. And notice I'm leading with my heel. My heel's going forward first. That's really going to engage those muscles. I'm starting to get tired, so I'm going to lay back, do it this way. Give my upper thighs a little bit of a break. A little bit easier this way for me. Got a few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. That one's tough. We're going to stay on our butts. You don't have to flip around. Actually, we're going to get on our sides. So you can roll over to the side here. We're going to do our hungry alligators like we used to. Try to keep that leg nice and straight. Keep your shoulder on the floor. That way you engage the core. If you're up like this, that reduces, see, I can't get my leg quite as high. If I'm down here, my leg can go way up towards the ceiling. Good. Try to keep your toe pointed straight towards the computer if you can. Yep, there you go. So when you turn it like this, it engages some of these other muscles that we're trying to isolate the hip here as much as possible in the obliques. That's your muscles on your side here. Trying to fully engage those ones as much as we can. Couple more, we're almost done on this side. 3, 2, 1, good. All right, I'm gonna flip to this side so I don't have my back turned towards you. So now we're just gonna do the other side, same exact thing. I don't wanna sit on that. So again, make sure that shoulder's all the way down. So we can isolate the hip and the obliques. Toe straight forward as best you can. I struggle with that one because again, I'm not very flexible, so my instincts tell me to turn the toe so I can reach my leg up further. But that's not what I want to do. I have to kind of fight myself to not do that. Almost there. Get a few more in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. All right, let me get this back on. Let me check on our time here, see if we're on. I think we are. Yep, we got enough time for one more core move before our time is up. So what we're gonna do here, this time lay right on our stomachs. Arms are gonna be out. We're gonna do swimmers. I can't remember if we used to do this one in class together or not, but if not, so what we're gonna do, you can relax all the way down, arms over the head, and what we're gonna do, opposite hand, opposite foot, come up and down. Same thing, other side, and down. Up and down. So you want to kind of squeeze for a second or two when you bring those up, and then relax everything back down. Up, 1, 2, down, 1, 2. So it's a 1, 2 count for each move. I'm getting sweaty again. I'm gonna grab some more paper towels here. You want to try to extend as far as you can here. Really engage that lower back. And make sure your arms and legs stay straight as you can get them. So up, 1, 2, and down, 1, 2. Up, 1, 2, down, 1, 2. Almost to the end here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right. We're all set with core. So you can move your mat out of the way. We'll take a little water break here. Let the heart rate go down, let those muscles relax a little bit. And we're going to come back and do some lower body stuff in a minute. We're going to do some squats and lunges, some of that fun stuff like that. Maybe we'll be able to throw some calf raises in. Move this up just a little bit. seconds here of our break. And then we'll get into some lower body stuff. All right, so moving on to the legs. We're gonna start off with just some basic squats. So feet about shoulder width apart. We wanna make sure our knees go straight forward. We don't want the knees coming in. We don't want them to go way out. We want them to go straight over the toes. So your toes should be pointed forward and squat down and back up. I like to put my hands out in front of me. It just gives me a good cadence, a good rhythm to go on. I bring my hands out, come back up. Plus I used to play basketball, so they always teach you to keep your hands up. Normally they'd be way more out to the side, but not actually playing basketball, so that's okay. Squat down and come up. You can go at your own pace here. If I'm going too slow for you, you can fly right on by. If you want to go a little bit slower, you can do that too. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see the angles a little bit. One of the main focuses with squats is you want your butt to go out first. So you almost kick your butt back and then go down. And that just helps to keep your weight back on your heels and allows you to keep good posture with your upper body, and it fully engages all those muscles in your upper leg. Do a couple more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake the legs out a little bit here. We'll give the upper legs a little break here. We're going to do some calf raises. These ones are a little bit tough because you can lose your balance a lot. I lose my balance a lot in these still. So I'll start off sideways. It'll be easier for you to tell. Feet about the same position as our squats. And what you're going to do, come way up on the toes, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds and come back down. 1, 2, and back down. 1, 2, and back down. So if you start to lose your balance like that and have to catch yourself, that's not a problem. That happens. Like I said, I do it all the time. No big deal. Just get your feet back into position and come back up. This is a slower move, not a lot going on. So it seems kind of easy, like it's not doing all that much. But it is. We're working those lower portion of our legs here on the back, which is really important, especially for going up and down the stairs. And if you do any other type of exercising, especially lower body stuff, if you like to go for runs, it really helps you push off, stuff like that. We're almost done. So right at the end here, in about 10 seconds, what we're going to do, we're going to switch to going fast with these, which that's when I really lose my balance. But we're going to speed it up. So instead of this 1, 2, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Fast as you can. 3, 2, 1. Go to that fast one. So just up and down. You got about 10 seconds of this. 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake those legs out. That one, when you add that fast-paced one in, it can really start to burn on those calves, but it's a good burn. So once we're done shaking those legs out, we're going to get back to the top portion of our legs and our butts a little bit here. We're going to do some lunges. So I'm going to stay sideways on this one. I'm actually going to travel a little bit. If you don't have the space to, then you can just do step forward, step back, step forward, step back. If you have enough space, what I'd recommend is going step forward, step forward, and then just turn around and head back the other way. If you have the space for it, that's awesome. If you don't have enough space, that's okay. Like I said, just do a step forward, step back. All right, 3, 2, 1, begin. So step forward, and then those feet together, forward, and feet together. Again, if you don't have the space, forward, feet together, forward, feet together. Now, when you come down for a lunge, you want your knee to be right over your ankle. You don't want to be way out here. You don't want to be back here. You want a 90-degree angle as best you can. It's not going to happen every time. It's just something to keep in mind. So every time you do it, think to yourself, is my angle right? No, I'm a little too far back. Next time I'll scoot forward. Or, oh, I'm over my toe, scoot it back, and there you go. Go as low as you're comfortable with here. Especially this is our first time back in a while. So we don't want to end up being so sore that we can't move. Do a couple more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, shake those legs out again. Let me see what we got for time. Got a few more minutes before this set is done. So we're gonna go back to some calf raises here. This time it's gonna be a little bit different though. Instead of having that shoulder width, toes pointed forward, point the toes out. And then it's gonna be the same calf raise, but we're going out. And the reason we do that is it changes the part of the muscle that we're working. It's still this whole muscle is working, but it really isolates a different side of that muscle. So toes pointed out, we go up, 1, 2, back down, up, 1, 2, and back down. Oops. And we'll do the same thing as last time. When we get towards the end, we're gonna do about 15 seconds of those really fast-paced ones. And that, at least for me, that's when my calves really start screaming at me. 1, 2, and down. Again, if you lose your balance, it happens. I do it all the time. Like I said, for the on those fast-paced ones, I mess up my balance quite a bit, but it gets better with practice. All right, 3, 2, 1, and now we're gonna go fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, even though we're going fast, you still want to get all the way up as high as you can on those toes. Because if you're only here, this isn't going to do much. You want a full extension. 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake those calves out. All right. Now we're going to go back to some squats. But this time, instead of our feet being shoulder width, we're gonna go wide. So what I refer to as a sumo squat. The big thing for sumo squats, have your toes pointed out a little bit and focus on having your knees go right over top of your toes. So we're going out like this and back up, out to the side and back up. So again, just make sure those knees go out over your toes. If your knees are coming in like this, one, that takes away from these muscles working, and it puts a risk in injuring some of those ligaments in our knees, which we do not want to do. So again, track out over those toes. 3, 2, 1, begin. So down and back up. Again, you don't have to go hands in front. You can let them hang. Just drop them down. I like to bring my hands out in front because, again, I used to play basketball, so it's kind of a habit to have my hands up when I squat down. But it helps me balance as well, and it keeps me on rhythm. Turn sideways. So again, just like the squats before, your butt should go back, and that's going to transfer your weight back towards your heels so our upper body stays up. We have good posture. So if I don't kick my butt out, if I just start to drop down, all of a sudden my upper body rolls forward and my weight goes to my toes. If I'm here, it helps me fully engage those muscles. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. One last lower body move before we start our cool down and stretching. I'm just going to grab a paper towel quick. So we've done straightforward calf raises. We've done toes out. This time, a little bit tricky. It's not easy. It's kind of frustrating. We're going to go toes pointed in. It's tough. And as you go, your toes naturally kind of start to sneak out. You want to fight that, keep your toes pointed in. And just like our calf raises before, go up and back down. 3, 2, 1, begin. This one, I lose my balance the most on because it's very unnatural to have your toes pointed in like this. And I just lost my balance right there. But again, this isolates a different part of the calf muscle. So you get the full scope with each different angle that you have those toes in. Same thing with the other ones. The last 15 seconds, we're going to go fast. I just lost my balance again, but you just line those feet back up and start going again. 3, 2, 1, and speed it up. So 1, 2, 3. So again, we still want to go as far up on those toes as we can, but we want to go fast. We don't want to hold it. 3, 2, 1, time. All right. Whew, legs are done. Shake them out if you need to. And now we will do our water break and we will start to wrap it up with our stretching. We'll start off with stretching on our feet, and then we'll grab our mats back out and we'll do some seated stretching to finish things off. Whew. My legs are burning from all those moves. That's good though, because today's my leg day, so I'm getting my workout in with you. All right, so we'll start with our upper body. So go back to those huggers that we had before. I know we didn't do a lot with our upper body. Like I said, without being able to have some free weights and stuff, it makes it a little bit tough, but we do what we can. All right, now we're gonna do single arm. These are called backstrokes. So just like if you're in the pool swimming, doing a backstroke, but we're only doing one arm at a time. And now we're gonna go the other direction. So now go forward. And switch it to the other arm. Same thing, going back. We won't spend too much time on our upper body, like I said, since we don't get to do too much with the upper body. We'll get more creative as the weeks go on. And switch other direction. And good. Shake those arms out one more time. And we're gonna get into a nice wide stance. We'll start to work on the legs here. I'm gonna take this off now. All right, so we're gonna start same stretch as we did last time, but in reverse order. So we're gonna nice and slow reach down towards the floor. Try to keep those knees as straight as you can. A tiny, tiny bend is okay, but we don't want to be here like this. I'm going to try to keep those legs relatively straight. And nice and slow, roll back up. And now we're going to go to the side. So again, whichever side you want to go to first is fine. I'm not picky about that stuff. I usually mix it up every time. This time I went right side first. Last time I did left side first. Again, keeping those knees straight as best you can. A slight bend is okay. 3, 2, 1. Come on, back up to center and across to the other side. Take some nice deep breaths here if you need to. It's a good way to start to slow the heart rate. 3, 2, 1, and back up. All right. Now we're going to do our quad stretch, which we used to do last on the wall. So if you have something you can hold on to keep your balance, that'd be really good. So it's this one where we pick the foot up behind. Turn sideways. So you want to make sure your knees are lined up as best you can and pull that heel in towards the butt. And again, if you need balance, you can use it. Sometimes I need it if my legs are really feeling the workout. Other times, I'm totally fine. 3, 2, 1, and release. So now we'll switch to the other side. So same thing. Put the other foot. I'm going to try to keep my balance. See if I can do it here. So again, try to line those knees up. Ooh, see, there goes my balance. Started talking. Try to keep the knees lined up as best you can. You don't want a knee way forward or way out here. You know, stay upright, knees together, pulling the heel in towards the butt. 3, 2, 1, and release. And now we'll do our calves. So our calves, I'll do it over here on this wall. That's where we have our toe up on the wall, heel on the floor, and just lean in towards that wall. Could even move this out of the way. Do it here, I think is a better angle for you to see. So heel stays planted, toes up on the wall. And a good thing to remember here, if I'm way back here, it's not going to do anything. So I'm going to stand straight up as best I can. Make sure that leg is as straight as possible. 3, 2, 1, and switch. Same thing on the other side. So again, making sure you stay basically over that foot as best you can in order to really optimize that stretch. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now we'll go down to the floor. So if you want to grab your mat, we can get that out. And we'll do some
Hi, Nick.
on the floor. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Yeah, how you been? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. How come you aren't working out with us?
I had an appointment to get on, but I'm going to be here not next week, but the week after.
All right, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right. So we'll start off with our butterfly stretch. So bottoms of the feet together. If you can, try to push your knees down towards the floor. Pull your heels in and stretch out those hips. If you want to, you can rock side to side a little bit. I tend to do that. It helps me push down on my knees a little bit more. Sometimes that's just me, but it can help. A couple deep breaths here. 3, 2, 1, and release your feet forward. Good, now we're gonna go up and over. Opposite arm comes across. So if your right leg is on top, your left arm goes over the top of that and just turn out to the side. I'm gonna turn to my side so you can see me a little better. Turn to the side and just turn that upper body. Another good time for some deep breaths if you need to. Three, 2, 1, and switch. Same thing on that other side. I'm going to turn so my back's not to you guys. Deep breath. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, and the last stretch we're gonna do, basic legs straight out in front of you and reach out for those toes as much as you can. Keep the knees as straight as possible. A little tiny bend is okay, but we don't wanna be here like this. It's better to not even be able to reach your toes and have those knees straight than to grab those toes and have the knees way up in the air. Three, 2, 1, and release back. And that is going to do it for today. Nice job, Sammy. Like I said, this was my first time ever teaching on Zoom. But with the limited equipment, I'm going to start to try to get a little more creative with being able to do some more upper body stuff as we go. But thank you guys for being here. I look forward to you being here in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Nick.
And it was very nice seeing you guys again.
Oh, you too.
And hopefully not too long, and we'll actually be seeing each other in person.
Hopefully. Oh.
We'll see how things go.
Yep.